G'day guys, welcome back to the workshop. We've made it through the first month of my bowl turning challenge, and it's time for the critique of the third and fourth bowl that I've done. The first of the two being this Jacaranda salad bowl, and the second is this little Jarrah burl with the little feetie on it, and we'll get to that one in a second. So this first one was a little bit troublesome, and we'll get to that. So Jacaranda is it's a South American timber that's obviously been brought over by someone at some stage. It's a very pretty tree when it flowers. We had two big ones in the backyard here when we first bought the house, and as much as I love having big established trees, we wanted natives for start in our backyard, have a low maintenance sort of feel to it, and second of all, I think jacarandas look pretty. I think they're great trees in someone else's backyard. If they're not dropping leaves, they're dropping sticks or flowers. It's a non-stop effort to keep them clean, and so these two trees had to go, which is sad, but in a positive sense of the story. I've got a shed full of timber now because it is excellent stuff to turn. It's it's got a nice even grain. It doesn't have too many knots and things in it. And in pieces like this, it's got some really exciting grain in it. So I'm quite happy with chopping them down. Now we've got three big eucalypts growing out the back now, which is it's fine now. It's probably going to get scary when they're 10, 15 years old and they're a bit too big to deal with, but that's future problems. Anyway, this bowl, if you'd watched the video, you would notice that there was a bit of an issue towards the end when I was just cleaning up the tenon at the bottom, and I went a little bit too far, and it came off and turned it into a bit of a pin cushion. So not happy with my work in terms of knowing when to stop, but very happy with having a learning opportunity, a design opportunity, as I'm used to calling them. If you make a mistake, it's not a mistake, it's a design opportunity. I was upset with myself with just going that little bit too far, walking the tightrope of that little bit extra, not too much. Where do I stop? And in this case, I should have stopped. And look, hindsight's 20/20, so yeah, could have dealt with it differently. But it caused a bit of a problem with the live center on my lathe. As the bowl was jumping around, it poked a lot of big dents in the bottom. I had to friction chuck it back together and basically return the outside of the bowl, sand it, finish it up, which as a finished piece, it's come out quite well. As an artist, I'm always going to look at something that I make and pick the negatives in it. And that's no different with this one, but at least there's a bit more of an excuse to it. As a whole, I'm really quite happy with this bowl. I was really pleased with it before it all fell apart. The wall thickness on it was really even. The outside shape I thought was schmick, bang on. And then having to turn that little extra bit off just to get all the little bruises out, basically, hasn't changed it too much, but it's changed it enough that I know that I'm not quite happy with it. But in saying that, there really isn't anything wrong with this bowl. A punter picking it up at a market or something wouldn't know the trials and tribulations this one has been through, and I'd be quite happy to sell it. It's simple. The grain in it is fantastic. I think it was from a crotch piece or something like that. This outside part must have been under quite a bit of stress at some stage, because it's just got this nice ripple through it for being it can be quite a boring timber. It's got that really nice figure through there. So all in all, I'm very happy with this one. I'm happy that we got on film a learning opportunity. We got through it, we've made it work, and we've come out the other end knowing a few things, like when to stop, no, knowing when you should stop, how to fix those mistakes, or I guess walking that line of, is it too far gone? Let's not try and polish a turd too much, throw it in the bin, start again. In this case, came out really well. So I'm really happy with this one, just in as an overall product, but also the fact that I had that opportunity to grow, what this challenge is all about. So this one, happy with this one. This little guy's my favorite for the month so far. I've recently, my wife's colleague, her husband is a local knife maker, a guy called Brendan Atkinson, and I'll link his Instagram page in this somewhere. I've been trying to sort of connect with a few local people, artists or artisans, if you want to call them that, people doing not just this like woodwork stuff, but painters and things like that, just to get the sense of the community out there. And he was close to home, being one step away as a work friend's husband, basically. And I went and had a chat with him at his workshop and saw his work's fantastic. It's he makes some fantastic knives, and I was blown away. And before going over, I got a whole heap of offcuts from here. So I've got some cool figured woods, some desert timbers, some rare stuff, and so I gave it to him for his time, showing me his workshop, and he gave me, you would see in the video, this big Jarrah burl that's still connected to the log. So this is a piece of wood off of that, sliced a bit of the cap off, and I think this has come out mint. I've only ever done one other bowl that's had carved feet in it. I thought it would be quite nice to lift it off the ground a little bit more, make it a bit airier, make it feel like it's floating a little bit. It's quite dainty. Burl figure is amazing, just out of the fact of how all the grain is growing. And so there's nothing that I can say about the wood in terms of how it looks. It's fantastic. I've walked away from this one really quite happy. If I could give myself, I guess the critique that I'm going to give myself is, I could have gone a little bit deeper through this sort of the bottom section here. Just by touching it, you can feel that it's a bit thick through the base, which is what I was worried about doing the opposite. I was going into this so I didn't punch holes in the bottom, and I think I've gone a bit too far one way and then a bit too far the other way, which is, I was once punching holes in the bottom too thin. Now I think I've got a little bit too much thickness, which you're not really going to notice. But if we're going through and being nitpicky, that's the nitpicky on this. I could have maybe made these feet a little bit more even, but you're not really going to notice. It's not too bad. The shape the proportions, the shape, this one has come out really well. Out of the 4 that I've done so far, this one is my number 1. This is my favorite, and I hope that you guys have liked it as well. I think it's not too showy, but it's different. The shape of it's nice. It's got some good sweeps through it. Yeah, this one, I'm not going to give myself a 10 out of 10 because that gives you nowhere to go. I'm not going to even give myself an 8 out of 10 because there is certainly room to grow with a lot of things, but it's simple, it's clean, it's a good little decorative bowl for, I don't know, put your keys in it. I made something similar to this for my in-laws, and I think they put lollies in it. So, you know, you could do whatever, but it's a fantastic piece of wood. You know, being hard on myself, yes, I could thin it out in the bottom, but there's not a whole lot else I could say negative about this one, which is good. So I think this first month has been just getting into the swing of things, more so on like a time scale of I've got to do this and set the camera up and find the time to edit and things like that. So getting in the swing of things of this project, more so than learning a whole heap extra about the bowls, as the filming side of things comes a bit more streamlined. I think it's going to be, I'll start focusing on really making sure that everything's good with the bowl, or as much as possible, and then go into some more design things. You know, it's a step by step of what's going on. But I think we're off to a good start. The first month is down, 11 to go. Yeah, I hope you're liking the videos. Let me know if there's anything I could do different or better. Let me know if there's anything you want to see, how I sharpen the chisels, or if you want me to talk about what I look at in terms of picking a piece of wood for a bowl. I don't know. If you want to see something, let me know, and then I can steer this channel in and out this way, that way, just because it's for me, but it's also for you guys. So if you're not happy, then there's no point in doing it. So thank you for sticking with me this long. I'm going to keep on going. I've made it this far, so I'll keep doing it. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Like I said in the last critique, these are all for sale, so send us a message. We'll work something out. I'm getting a website up and running, so I'll put them on there as well. And yeah, in the meantime, I hope you're safe. I hope you're enjoying the videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, guys. Thanks a lot.